HII delivers the most powerful naval ships ever built. That same innovation and dedication is applied to executing missions in complex and contested environments. We are leading the next evolution of national defense, the data evolution. That means anticipating emerging threats with C5ISR capabilities that enable a deep understanding of the environment across a wide range of assets. And with AI and big data platform capabilities that support threat analysis and cyber operations at an unprecedented data scale. Preparing warfighters for virtually every conceivable situation they may face with live, virtual, constructive, synthetic training environments critical to the all-domain order of battle. Making vast expanses of the Earth accessible for defense, research, and commerce, on land, under the seas, in the air, and in space. With world-leading autonomy and the largest family of UUVs in every class, making transoceanic missions possible. Ensuring the world's most capable and resilient platforms are always at the ready, on the sea, under the sea, and ashore. Maintaining a safe, secure, and effective strategic weapons stockpile and executing complex environmental remediation through a legacy of disciplined nuclear operations supporting the Department of Energy's mission priorities. We do all of this with a talented, diverse, and innovative team that is driven to solve our customers' most complex challenges. HII, solving our nation's critical security needs by delivering the hard stuff done right around the globe.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Finding Your Purpose with HII. If you are watching this, then you have the privilege of watching our 6th episode. And so we are excited about today's episode because today you're going to see why we're so excited about this awesome company. I'm John Young, Talent Acquisition Manager with Mission Technologies, and I have an awesome panel today that I'm going to introduce. But in addition to our panel, we have a special guest, and we're going to pick his brain so that you all can see exactly why Mission Technologies is the place to be. We've got one of our corporate executives here on this podcast, Todd Gentry, who's the president of C5ISR. And one of the reasons that the fiber of Mission Technologies flows from the top down is because we have leaders like him. And so without any further ado, I'm going to give you some guardrails here. One of the things I want to challenge all of you who are listening to us today to do is I want to make sure that you like, share, comment, follow, subscribe so that you can stay connected with us and always know when we have another episode coming up for you to view. Also, I want to point out the ticker below me. It shows some powerful information about what's going on at our company. And we have some very smart people behind the scenes that are making things like that happen. We've got Matthew Jordan and Daryl Williams who are producing behind the scenes, and they make me look like I know what I'm doing. So with that said, I want to make sure you all know who you're actually watching. When I say HII, I want you to know that we are a branch of HII, and we are Mission Technologies. We have 7,000 employees, and we're growing. We have 45 locations across 11 countries. We have over 600 postings right now on our career site for those of you who might be interested in joining this powerful team. I'm going to give you a shortcut. For those of you who want to know what we've got going on, I want to challenge you to take out your phone, unless you're driving, and then you do this later. But you take out your phone and you text HII to 89743 on your phone. Then a miracle happens because you are sent a link that gives you a shortcut to take a look at everything that we've got going on. Now, with that said, I'm going to transition to our panelists, and I'm going to start with you, Dan Kinzik. I call him King Kinzik. Even though he's in the Army, we have a friendly rivalry. For those of you who are listening in, I'm an Air Force guy, he's an Army guy, and we still get along. Am I right about that, Dan?
You are right. I did have a question about your Air Force background. Are you wearing your basic training T-shirt under that you're still in uniform, and I appreciate that.
I am. Yes, I am. I definitely wear my brown basic training uniform because, you know, in the Air Force, we do less before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
I hear you, man. I appreciate it, JY. Dan Kinzik here, 26-year Army veteran. I served in a lot of different capacities in recruiting duty in my Army time. Very thankful to be part of this team. I found my purpose here, bounced around a little bit after retirement, really found a home here in Mission Technologies, working with this team. Got a great team, great manager I work with and for, and just happy to be here. And I'd like to pass it over to my teammate, Katie Sanabria. Katie's out in Alexandria, Virginia. Katie, tell us about you.
Thanks so much, Dan the Man. Good afternoon, LinkedIn. My name is Katie Sanabria. I'm a senior recruiter here at HII Mission Technologies, supporting our radio frequency, electromagnetics, and spectrum engineering team. I've been in HR and recruiting for about 10 years and supporting this team for about 3. So with that said, I'd like to turn it over to my A+ teammate, Nicole McDaniel. Nicole, take it away.
Thanks, Katie. Appreciate it. Hey, y'all. So my name is Nicole McDaniel. I am a lead talent acquisition partner here with HII. I have been recruiting for about 10 years, and I've been thankful to be a part of the HII team for about 4 years now. So I have a huge passion for supporting our veteran community, and that's why HII has definitely become home for me. So also, we want to introduce now what really all of you have honestly been waiting for. Nobody wants to hear the rest of us talk. You're all here for Todd, of course. So I have actually had the privilege to support Todd and his business unit for about 3.5 years now. And being able to make a successful team starts at the top. And I think that's one thing that Todd has said a lot in many meetings that I have sat in with him. And so today we're going to get to pick his brain a little bit and understand what makes a team successful and where he gets his drive from. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the president of our C5ISR business unit, Todd Gentry.
Hey, everybody. Nicole, thanks to all of you on the call. Thanks so much for allowing me to be here with you today.
All right. Well, we're so honored to have you here, Todd. And one of the things that I've been saying is that after about 30 seconds of being introduced to Todd, I literally felt like I was at a pep rally. So for those of you who are looking for a company that has motivation and enthusiasm exuding from the leadership and flowing down to those who are actually working, then HII is the company for you. And so you're going to have the opportunity to see why we're so excited about our leadership here at HII. But I do want to make an additional request for those of you who are listening. We want to know where you're listening from. So if you would go into the chat, and we want you to type in where you are listening to us from. And if you are a job seeker, we want to challenge you to put in the type of background you have, because we do have recruiters listening. And so if there's something that you do that you want our recruiters to know about, then this is the platform to shine. So with that said, I am going to turn this over to Dan to ask the first question of our special guest. Take it away, Dan.
Appreciate it, JY. Hey, Todd, thanks again for your time here. And my question is, as an Army veteran, what attracted you to HII, which is typically known historically as a Navy company?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Right. So look, I wasn't necessarily attracted to HII. I was kind of challenged by somebody at HII. I came many years ago, right after 9/11. I had served with somebody in Afghanistan in the same Joint Command, and he was at HII. And so years and years later, 2019, we ran into each other, and and he presented me an opportunity to come to the HII team and develop a $1 billion bid for what's called Africa USAFE, or it's U.S. Air Force Africa and U.S. Air Force Europe, same command. And he made a comment to me one day that really stuck with me. And it's really what caused me to make the decision to leave the government, which I'd been with for 31 years. And honestly, I really loved what I was doing in the government. It was a great mission, great focus, and I loved it. But he said to me, Todd, I don't think you could hack it out here. And I was like, all right, brother, bring it on, right? So I did join the HII team. We did develop that proposal. We pitched it in an orals presentation to the government for 90 minutes, and we were fortunate enough to win the work. And so, I became the program lead for that work. And now, having been at HII for a bit over 4 years, I'll tell you, I have zero desire to leave, right? I mean, I think we have great leadership. We have great people. I think we have an intense business ethic that neatly fits in to the way I view how business should be done. And it starts with the mission, right? It starts with the operator. And we wrap the business practices and the processes really around both the mission and the operator. And I think we do a phenomenal job at that. And, as you mentioned, Mission Technologies, we've been around since about 2016, super agile team, intensely responsive, highly ethical, and lives in that multi-domain environment of the Department of Defense, as you saw in the video, right, when they opened here. So in my mind, if you're a motivated person, if you're a critical thinker, you like to be a part of cohesive and trust-based teams, Mission Technologies is really, I love it, and I have no desire to leave. So as back to your question though, I think we're much bigger than a Navy company. Folks with military service in any branch will fit at HII, and folks with no military service fit just as equally. I think what makes the difference is having a mission-first mindset, a customer-first mindset, and I think we're surrounded with people that get out of bed at HII and they're naturally self-motivated, right? And if those kind of things fit in what you're looking for, HII is a place for you, regardless of branch of service, or if you even served, right? It's a great organization to be a part of with a great business ethic. So I hope that answers your question, Dan.
Spot on. Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. And while we are transitioning to our next question, I do want to say to our listening audience, we thank you for chiming in. For those of you who have not chimed in the comments and let us know where you're listening from, keep it coming. We've got people listening from Orlando, from Texas, from North Carolina, all over the place, Florida. And I do want to say this before we transition to the next real question. I want to tell you this, Todd, you've got someone in Germany that by the name of Dave and Zach. There's two people there in Germany that say Todd rocks. Any idea why they say that?
They're great people. They're great. Look, there's everybody at HII rocks, right? I mean, I think we have a phenomenal team. We all get along really, really well. I think we laugh together a lot. I think we go through struggles through laughter. And so I've worked with those folks in Germany for many years. Love them all. They're great people.
All right. Well, we bring Todd on and suddenly we go international. So there you have it. We'll press on to the next question. Nicole, what do you have for our superstar?
Sure. So Todd, you talked about, how you joined the organization just a little over 4 years ago. So talk to us a little bit about how you were able to quickly move up the career ladder with the company, and just elaborate on what contributed to your success.
Yeah, well, so first, I think in the military, what I learned in my number of years serving with the government was, right, do the job you're in to 150%. Don't look for the next job. Just do the job you're in and do your best, right? At what you've been given and what you've been handed and what you've been asked to do. And I try to do that every day. I'm not a guy that tries to look for the next rung to try to climb the ladder. I'm not one who's personally excited by looking up and trying to figure out how to work with my senior leaders or how to get close to them. I think what makes me a little unique is I'm a mission, heads down. You've asked me to do a job. I'm going to do the job to 150%, right? And what I'm not going to do is spend a lot of time collaborating and communicating with leaders that have asked me to do something and have given me the resources, I'm going to do as they've asked, and I'm going to do it with the resources they've provided. So first, I think it's a heads down mentality, right? Do what you've been asked to do it to 150%, and hit the target you've been asked to hit, right? But I do kind of have, I kind of have a couple ways I look at the world, right? First, I personally contribute my success really to a team, not really myself. No one individual succeeds. It's really a group of people that move each other along. But I will tell you my mentality, and I think, Nicole, I know you know this, I'm a how can I help kind of guy, right? I mean, that's my mentality. I see my role as being the support structure to my team, right? I don't see my team being accountable to me. I see me being accountable to them to ensure they have the resources, just like my senior leadership does for me. And honestly, if they succeed, we all succeed, right? So if you're a supporter, I'm a how can I help? When you answer the phone, how can I help? What can I do for you, right? I don't care where you are in the organization. That's a mentality I think we should all, follow. Second, I'm a huge believer in people, right? I think people make all the difference. So I look to hire teammates who want to bring value at the individual level, yet at the team level as well. So said differently, right? I love the game of chess, right? And when I interview teammates, I look for individuals who are comfortable playing as an individual in a sport or a game like chess. But I'm also looking for somebody who's also comfortable operating at the team level with other folks and other folks with a diverse background. Because I think HII takes a lot of pride in making sure we have a lot of diversity in our team. And I will tell you, study after study after study will tell you, right? Diverse teams make better decisions. And I'm a huge believer in that. So I think it's all about our people. And I try to surround myself, right, with people that challenge me every day, right? That debate with me. I mean, I frequently tell my team, look, I know what I think. I thought about it. What I want to know is what you think. I know what I think. So don't agree with me. Tell me where I've got a blind spot. Tell me the data point I missed, right? And frequently people highlight things to me and I'm like, wow, I missed it. I got it, and we make better decisions because of it. So I surround myself with people that are one, better than me, and who challenge me, right? And I think that's critical, to be surrounded by folks who challenge you. Third, I view everything without position, rank, or title. I'm a fundamental believer in that, right? I think we collectively succeed when we empower and listen to every single member of our team. I was saying for most folks, and Nicole, you will have heard this before, but I view our job as we all have the same seat in the boat, same size seat, same size oar, right? What makes a difference is that we're all in sync from the seat that we're in. Just play your role in the role you're in, do it to 150%, and we will move together. It's when we're out of sync, right? When we take position or title out of context, and we're not focused on the mission, we're not focused on the operator. So I think we all need to be in sync, and I think we all need to be treated independent of position, rank, and title. I think it's enormously important to create a flat culture to where people feel comfortable saying what they think. I don't, regardless of my position, many times somebody will say to me, Todd, you missed it. You missed it because you didn't consider this data point, right? And it changes the outcome. So from that perspective, those are kind of three approaches I use. But then once we do get an employee on board, I tend to drive a teaching, mentoring, and coaching approach that really comes from 5 lenses, right? And teaching, mentoring, coaching is enormously important to me. Because to me, I don't know a number of things, and there's a number of people on my team that don't know things. And I think we should approach situations from hey, let me help me understand what you do understand. Help me understand what you don't understand, so I can give you the tools or help you understand where you fit in to what we're trying to achieve, right? And sometimes all it takes is 10 minutes of talking to somebody about, hey, listen, here's what we're trying to achieve. Here's the tools we have. Here's the outcome we're looking for. This is where we think you help. Can you help me understand if I've got that wrong? If I do, I mean, I had a conversation this morning with somebody, with one of my vice presidents and somebody in contracts who reached out to us and said, hey, we'd like you to send off your social security number and place of birth. And we both got on the phone. All 3 of us got on the phone. We're like, hey, I'm pretty sure we don't want to send that out in an email, right? So I'm sure there's a number of things that's PII, let's protect it. Is there another way around this? And together we solved the problem. We called the government. We said to the government, what you've asked us for really should be received in another way. It shouldn't be received via email. And the government very much said, thank you very much. We appreciate you calling us. And it all came from, a tasker, one of the vice presidents saying, hey, Todd, I'm not sure this is right. What do you think? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. We shouldn't be passing this type of information. But again, it was that teaching, mentoring, coaching. It was that moment of let's get together and find out what data point is missing and let's talk about it. And he used that mentality. So let me go through my 5 lenses, right? My first lens is really, and I kind of mentioned it, it's being client obsessed, right? I think we need to execute awarded work. When we win work, we need to be relentlessly focused on customer satisfaction every day, right? We need to add value every day to whatever we're doing for whatever customer we have, right? And those routine interactions, because of the value we're adding, in my mind, that enables us to show them that their mission is our mission and that our success is their success. And we start with them and we back into it from looking at what they're trying to achieve. And I think everybody on the team needs to understand that, from however they do their work, from monthly reports to programmatic reviews to how they process an invoice to how they deliver the service to what service we're delivering. Doesn't matter what it is. It should all be from the focus of how does the customer view it, right? And then back into it from there, because generally, right, I think that some of the greatest leaders I've ever served with understood the customer was the operator, the customer, the mission. That's why we exist, right? And then the benefit of senior leaders, in my mind, is they're able to look strategically, operationally, and tactically simultaneously in one thought, right? Literally one thought, I understand the 5-meter target, the 50-meter target, and the 600-meter target. And I can see right through it on what decision I'm about to make and how that's going to affect, the decision we're going to need to make in 6 months, or how that's going to affect a 12-month delivery. Again, pull the teaching, mentoring, coaching session. And when you're talking to folks, if you're client obsessed and somebody brings you a problem and you walk them through that tactical, operational, and strategic mentality, they might view the world different. And they just left the conversation a better person because now they have a new tool in their toolkit. So I think that teaching, mentor, coaching mentality, customer obsession, it's got to start there, right? The second lens I view it from is, look, to be in business, right? We're in business and we've got to survive. And survival is based on growth, right? So to grow and sustain business, we each need to be a sensor. We need to each be a growth representative, each and every one of us. Doesn't matter if you're in talent acquisition, if you're in, if you're the leaf at the furthest end of the tree, or you're me, right? We've all got to have a customer-focused mentality, but yet we've got to be a sensor to understand where we can grow. Our entire survival as an organization is really about winning and sustaining work, right? And I genuinely believe that the responsibility to ensure my team has future work, I mean, that falls on my back to look at the future to make sure that I see a forecast and I can tell one of my teammates, yes, in 5 years, we're going to have this opportunity and we're still going to be here and I need your help. So everybody's got to have a growth mentality, right? Third, I'd say that probably one of the most foundational, one of the best lessons I've ever been taught at HII was I had an opportunity to have lunch with the CEO of the company once, and I asked him the question. I said, "Hey, if you could go back 30 years and change 3 things that would propel your career and it would have enabled you to be more successful organizationally and individually, what would they have been?" And he said to me, "Oh, Todd, wouldn't be 3 things, it'd be 2 things." And he answered me like that fast. It shocked me. And he talked about the founder's mentality, right? The founder's mentality is that each recommendation, each decision, each action you take on as an individual, regardless of position, rank, title, whatever it is, regardless, that it should be done from the perspective that you found HII and you own HII, right? Because that ownership mentality, it drives critical thinking, right? If you and I, if all 4 or 5 of us started this company together in this call, we would critically evaluate everything that came across this. We would, because it was our investment. It was us. It was our pride. Everything about us was about the company we started. So that growth mentality, that owner's mentality, in my mind, that drives ownership, drives critical thinking. It drives continuous learning, right? Things change every day, right? We need to stay ahead of what's changing. And that's self-motivation doing that. And it's a founder's mentality doing that. So I think that passion as an owner is what makes change. It's what enables us to be very critical of each other and critical of each other's ideas. And so, and I know folks that work with me quite a bit, they know, I will be in a difficult situation and I'll pause the whole group and I'm like, okay, if we owned HII, what would we be doing? What would we be recommending? Because you got to pause there, right? When you're in a difficult moment, let's think about it as owners. It changes your perspective. So third, right, founder's mentality. Fourth, look, this should be fundamental, but I think it needs reinforced routinely with our team, and that is that we help one another at all times, right? We support one another. We are a family, right? We're all going to have problems some days. We're all going to have good days. We're all going to have bad days. We're all going to have challenges. We all need to come around each other and help, right? I have a saying, teams win. It's right there below my name. If you talk to my folks, I say it all the time, teams win, right? Individuals succeed, teams win. So we need to be the best possible teammates to one another, while being able to operate independently. As I talked about chess, right? Need you to be able to play chess, but I also need you to be able to play on the soccer field, right? I need you to be able to kick the ball with the team, and understand how to work together. So, fourth again is we need to support one another, and teams become that function that hold each other accountable. And part of that, right, is operationally, human resources, talent acquisition, security, legal, procurement, contracts, subcontracts. They're just as much of the operational outcome as the operational person running that business. Because nobody in the operational community of HII can do anything. I can't do anything without HR, without legal, without talent acquisition, without contracts, without subcontracts. Each one of those, I look at it like a flower, right? We're running the business in the middle, but each one of those petals, if those petals don't support, we're not going to make it, right? So it's an enormous team effort from a functional department perspective and from an operational perspective. So we got to help one another. We got to support one another. And then my fifth lens is a fundamental lens. It's all about engagement. It's about engaging with our employees. And and my leaders know this, that I evaluate them on do they have a teacher, mentor, coach mentality, right? Are they showing vulnerability? I think vulnerability is okay, right? I'm okay with what I don't know. I'm not afraid of what I don't know, but I'm also comfortable in saying I don't know, and I can learn. Again, a learning mentality. So I think, I'm in a seat that my job is to help others succeed, but it's their job to help me succeed too, right? And the way we do that is through engagement. We talk to each other because that little leaf at the end of the tree sees the market shift faster than I do. That little leaf at the end of the tree, right? The furthest employee away from us, the folks in Germany, they see the shift in what's being required by our mission partner faster than I do. So they're just as critical, and we all need to listen. So how do we listen? We engage. So I know that was a lot, but I think it's an important question, right? I didn't succeed. I didn't get promoted. I brought a team together, and my team supported me. And fortunately, I was recognized. But I was also recognized because of the teams I brought with me. So it's really the team that has enabled my success. I'm not quite sure it's been my own personal, attributes. It's really been the team that we formed. Hope that answers the question.
Well, I'll say, one of the things that I'm excited about, Todd, is that we've got people that are dialed into what you're saying. I've been looking at some of the chats. We've got people from Maryland, Alabama, Maine, Florida, Virginia, New Jersey, Mississippi, South Carolina, North Carolina. We're all over the map. One of the things that really struck me is we've got Sakira in San Diego, California. She said it seems like an interesting depiction of cross-functional team structure. So you didn't think we'd throw your comment out there, Sakira, but there you are on blast for the world to see.
There you go. She's on it. That's what it is.
And point out here that we've got a retired lieutenant colonel or retiring lieutenant colonel, Tim Jenkins. He's retiring from the Army.
All right.
And he's got a logistics background. So for those of you who are chiming in, you have some recruiters that are listening and watching your comments. So if you want to put some attention and shine a spotlight on your background, if you're looking to join a great company, this is your opportunity to do that. And with that said, we're going to transition to our last question. And one of the things that I love about this culture, as I bring you up here, Katie, is that we have the leader that instead of putting his title where it goes, he puts team win. Me personally, if I had the option to put president there, I probably would have put president, but he put teams win. See, that's how we learn. So with that said, I'm going to shoot it over to you, Katie, and you can ask our teams win leader what your question is.
Thanks so much, John. Hi, Todd. I love your teams win mentality, and I love that you are an advocate for diverse teams. Can you elaborate a little bit on the culture here at Mission Technologies and HII and why people should really strongly consider this organization as their next career option?
Oh, sure. You bet. And first, Tim, congratulations on your service. Very much appreciate what you've done. It's an amazing next step you're going to take, right? I've been retired now for, I want to say 10 or 11 years. And man, I got to tell you, Tim, I've learned more in the last 4 years at HII than I learned in 31 in the government. So really the next aspect of your life, right, is going to be awesome. So congratulations to you and for your service. And I hope you're looking at our opportunities that we have at HII. So the, I think your question really centered on, what is the culture of Mission Technologies? That's kind of where you're going. What is our culture, right? So I think the culture, and I'm going to probably say things, over and over again, and I apologize if I'm repetitive, but I'm pretty repetitive because I believe in what I'm about to tell you. I think our culture is a servant's mentality culture, right? My boss, Andy Green, entirely, I could call him at any hour. I could lay up any problem on his table, and he wants to talk to me about it, and he helps me think through it. Our COO of the company, Gary Schwartz, I talk to Gary 4 or 5 times a week about challenges that I'm struggling through that I need help thinking about, right? And he doesn't tell me what to do. He just shares a different perspective with me. I talk to my deputy, Joan Nicoli, 9, 12 times a week as we struggle through issues on, what do you think? Joan, from your perspective, you came from a different animal. She was never in the military. She's a brilliant leader in our company. What do you think? What's your perspective? And she feels remarkably comfortable to share with me her unvarnished perspective. And it saves me time when I can get somebody in our company to talk to me that fast, unvarnished input, because we're both looking to the same outcome, our collective success, right? And so I think our culture is we pay attention to the mission. And we're all focused on how to be successful, how do we add value? Because theoretically, if you're adding value, you're going to grow, right? Because that's the mentality. And people want to hire organizations that add value and see value as an important contribution that we provide, right? So one, I would tell you that we have a culture of supporting each other. And I think we have a culture, at least in C5ISR. I think we have it entirely in Mission Technologies, but you understand, I work primarily in C5ISR. I think we have a culture where everybody's opinion is important. We debate it. We don't debate with positional authority. We debate with our minds. We look at the problem set together and we discuss the problem set and we share brutally and we debate vigorously, all for the outcome of we all want to succeed and we want to make sure everybody in the team sees it from their perspective, because sometimes that one perspective from somebody that has a unique perspective, which is why diversity is enormously important to HII. Because if I'm just surrounded by a bunch of folks that look like Todd, you might get the same solution and the same attitude. I need different perspectives, different genders, different backgrounds. I need somebody that grew up differently than the Army. I need somebody to help me understand their perspective, because they'll see it from their history. I'll see it from mine, and together we'll make better choices, I believe. So I think our culture is one of a servant mentality. In C5ISR, there's no question. In Mission Technologies HII, it's a servant's mentality. We set the conditions to serve and support our people. And I think we do that a lot through engagement, right? I think, our culture is set by the boat example, right? We all have the same size seat. We all have the same size oar. Put your oar in the water in sync with everybody else and pull from your seat, and we're going to go together. And then we've got to be respectful of everybody in that process, right? So again, the little person closest to the client, the folks on this call from Germany, I need to hear from them. I need to understand what they're seeing, what they're hearing, what's changing, because it takes time to translate back to the corporate office, right? So everybody is a sensor. Everybody gets the same size seat. Everybody gets the same size oar. We all got to pull together and pull your weight, right? Everybody contributes to the mission. And then again, the culture of an owner's mentality, a founder's mentality, right? You have to have a bias for action. If you're an owner, you will have a bias for action. If you're an owner, you will have an aversion of bureaucracy, right? If you're an owner, you're going to ask the question, why are we doing that? What value is that action adding to the outcome? And if everybody can ask that question, just think about how successful we as an organization, right? And I think we live that culture every day with everybody on our team. And I think it protects not only us as a company, because all of those folks are trying to protect HII and what our brand is and how we contribute, but it also protects our mission partners, because our mission partners see that all of us are sensors, all of us are contributors, and everybody's voice matters. So I think we have a phenomenal culture at HII. As I started off, right, I love working at HII. I really do. I don't have a problem getting out of bed every day. All right, it's easy to come to work because we work with such great folks. So I hope that answers your question, ma'am. It's probably a little long-winded, but that to me is our culture. It's a culture of a team. Over.
Well, let me just tell you, Todd, not only was it not long-winded, you are inspiring people just like you inspired us. We've got a retired Army person named Kevin Gardner that just posted, and he said that he retired from the Army this past September, and hearing statements like that, like what Todd is saying, is reassuring for my next chapter in life. So there you go. You're getting graded right there on the spot, Todd. We'll tell you, there's got to be a company somewhere that's the greatest company in the world.
Yeah, we're in it.
Why not HII? We're
in it. Right, it is. We're in it, right? And as I go, right, if there are people listening to this, right, that are looking for an opportunity, I would tell you there's three things that I frequently reference, because it balances me, right? Jeff Bezos' 14 leadership principles. Study them, right? Not one is more important than the other. They're all executed within balance. And I think there may even be 16 now. I was talking to a guy from Amazon Web Services yesterday. He told me there were 16, and I still have the same 14 I printed out 10 years ago. And I keep those leadership principles on my desk, and I think about them. When I'm struggling, I look at them, right? So number one, I'd go study Jeff Bezos' leadership principles. They're foundational. And I look at them all the time. Number two, there's a video out there by Simon Sinek. It's called The Golden Circle. And it's about what, why, how, right? He'll talk to you, he'll walk you through a story that is fascinating, right? About why did Apple succeed at building computers, and Dell does, but what's the difference in how they market them? And it's a belief structure, right? And so I'd ask you to, write that down, the Golden Circle by Simon Sinek. What, why, how? When I think you'll get to, 100% of us know what we do, right? I want to say like 80% of us know how we do it, and about 5% of us know why we do it. Now, if you could get 100% of that population to know why we do something, think about all those minds that could now propose new innovative ways to do it because they knew the why, right? And so what's the why? What's your why? What's the why of your mission, right? But I'd go listen to it. Simon Sinek, The Golden Circle, and the third one I just love because it brings you back down to a level of humility that I think is awesome, which is this third grade dropout. It is a commencement speech by a PhD guy, and it is a profound message of walking in life with humility. And so I would tell you, for all of you out there listening, has nothing to do with joining HII. It's just purely how to make yourself better, right? Jeff Bezos' Leadership Principles, Simon Sinek's The Golden Circle on YouTube, and the third grade dropout commencement speech. So I shared that with the team here the other day, and they were fascinated by it. So I just wanted to share it with everybody. Over.
Well, there you have it. For those of you who did not hear something that you think your background qualifies you for, I want to give you a quick reminder. Grab your cell phone, text HII to 89743, and then bam, a link is going to come on your phone so you can see everything that we've got going on. So that said, I just want to leave you with a couple of reminders. Mission Technologies, we are everything. And this is the place to be. We are the largest data platform provider for the U.S. Army. We're the largest producer of unmanned underwater vehicles. And yes, we are the leading provider of live virtual construction for the U.S. military. So if you want to be a part of something amazing like this, I want you to make sure that you connect with these recruiters who are listening into this chat, and also like, share, comment, follow, subscribe. This is the place to be. Now, with that said, for those of you who've never watched an episode, this is the point where I explain to everyone that thinks that this is a pen and let you know that it's not. It's actually a microphone, and this is where I drop it.